Hi, I'm Liron Cohen.
And I'm Mimi Torchin.
And you're listening to Lady Parts TV, the podcast.
Whee!
Hello, everybody.
Well, hello there.
Before we get started, we would just like to express our deep grief and condolences to everybody for the great loss of Queen Elizabeth II.
Yes, there'll never be the likes of her again in our lifetime.
Of course, we especially are thinking about our friends in the UK.
I know that they're mourning very deeply.
A much deeper loss than we could understand, but I also think that maybe they can get some comfort from the fact that the entire world is participating in their grief and is mourning the loss, and that she's touched everybody and meant so much to the entire world, really.
She was a great stateswoman and a great comfort to her people always. She always thought of her people first, and that's what a great monarch should do.
Yeah, she was rare.
Yes, she was
rare. Okay. So we have interesting statistics today. We tallied 21 primetime shows, out of which, are you ready, Mimi?
I'm ready.
18
oh my God.
were written or co-written by a woman, which is 86%.
Oh my God.
And 17 were directed by a woman,
That's
which is 81%.
amazing.
It's the best stats we've ever had, and I think we're right on track for world domination.
Well, I hope so, because we need to be dominating this world, I'll tell you.
Yes. Okay. So let's start without further ado. We've accumulated a few things to tell you about, but some of them will have to wait for next week. First of all, we have a new series, 10-part series on Acorn TV starting Monday, September 5th. So the first...
It's already begun.
The first two, I think, are already up there on Acorn TV. It's called Recipes for Love and Murder. Mm-hmm. Already sounds enticing, right? I mean, recipes, love, and murder. What else do you need?
Well, I like what happens after you use the recipe, but yes.
For love or for murder?
For food.
Oh, I see. Based on Sally Andrews' best-selling novels Atani Maria Mystery and starring the delicious Maria Doyle Kennedy.
I love her.
Whom you might remember from Orphan Black. She was... I think she was the aunt there too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this takes place in South Africa in a very tiny
community.
And Maria is a columnist, a food columnist in the local paper. And when I say local paper, it's the tiniest local paper. I mean,
because it's a tiny little town.
Exactly. It's like a two-people organization, and they have to fire her because there isn't enough to go around. So she takes on a different beat, and she somehow starts investigating murders.
Don't they always? I mean, if you look at a Hallmark channel.
Yeah, everybody's
even
investigating
people
murders.
Just go to yard sales, detectives.
She becomes a columnist and takes in people's letters, but she also has her own mystery, as it always is the case. She has her own story that unfolds as the series goes.
It's kind of charming. It's not totally our cup of tea, but
because it's quirky, but it does, I think, have a lot more darkness than it would appear on first glance.
Yes.
And she's just...
she's wonderful.
And the food looks beautiful. I mean, it's so enticing and full of... You can smell it, practically. It's beautiful and colorful. And
stop talking about it. I'm getting hungry.
But really, I find her to be the most delicious thing on the show, personally.
Yes.
So this is Recipes for Love and Murder. It's fun. And, I don't know about you, but when we have a leading lady who we love, it makes such a huge difference.
Oh my God, it's everything.
It is everything. And so just to watch Maria Doyle Kennedy is a great joy. And the show is fun too. So check it out on Acorn TV. The first couple of episodes are already there. Next up, we have a movie, Mimi.
Well, this doesn't have much to do with women, but it is an incredible...
Right, so you know how every now and then, especially if it has to do with mental health or the Holocaust,
which this doesn't.
This doesn't.
It's not sci-fi.
No. sometimes if there's something that's outstanding enough, we'll tell you about it, even if it doesn't really have to do with women much. Especially around awards season, there are a lot of movies that come out, and we're versatile. And the thing about being a woman is you can do anything, and you can even enjoy movies
that don't have hardly any women in them.
Yeah, because this is a really good movie and a really good subject matter.
About a true story. It's called 13 Lives. It was directed by the great Ron Howard and written by William Nicholson. Oh, God. I don't know what's wrong with me. I've got the yawnings. Anyway, it stars Viggo Mortensen, Colin Farrell, and Joel Edgerton, among others, of course.
Many
It's
others.
got
It's a huge cast.
A massive cast. And you may remember when this happened. This is about a rescue mission in Thailand. People come from all over the world. These 12 boys and their coach, soccer players, were trapped in this underground maze of caves, and the monsoon started and
flooded the entire thing,
and they had to be rescued. It took weeks.
And people from all over the world who came and
the whole
assisted.
town came and camped outside of the area. It was harrowing, unbelievably harrowing, unbelievably heroic. The boys themselves were incredible, how they managed to stay alive, basically just on faith.
Mm-hmm. And I think that actually, and I'll insert this here. This is completely based on, not on information that I corroborated, but it was a conversation that I had with a friend. So I have two major points to say here. If you're claustrophobic, or if you have a severe phobia of drowning, I mean, we all have a phobia of drowning.
Yeah,
but if
nobody wants to drown.
Right, but if you can't even stand to watch people possibly, maybe potentially could drown, this is not the movie for you.
Absolutely not.
A lot of the movie takes place underwater in a cave.
Very tight.
Yeah, tight spaces.
Not only in a cave, but in crevices that are barely big enough for a person to swim through.
Right. So and we're talking about at the same time. Okay. So it's those spaces and underwater.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a combination of both. So if you have if that's something that is hard for you, not the movie for you. It's 2 hours of basically that.
Even the stunt work, I can't imagine. Yeah. I mean, it makes me want to gasp for air.
But
it has, as you may remember, also a very satisfying conclusion.
Right, and we can say that because it is a true story.
It is a true story.
All know,
it's miraculous.
Right. However, I do want to also put in, because you were talking about the kids and how they survived practically on faith, I found that story to be very interesting because there's only glimpses of that when, for example, you see hints of how their culture, their communal culture helps them get through this. And I didn't get enough of it. And when I talked to the same friend that I talked to who is severely claustrophobic and is not going to watch the movie, and we're talking about that, she said that from what she's heard, there's going to be either a movie or a show that is dealing with the same story, but from that perspective, from the community. Yeah,
the kids, the community.
Right. This is focused on the rescuer.
Yes, on the rescue mission. It's a thrilling movie. Mm-hmm. It's really edge of your seat kind of stuff. And
it's the kind of story. It's the kind of story that if I had seen in the movie without knowing it was a true story, I would have said, "Oh, come on!"
Exactly. No, it's remarkable. Yeah. It's a beautifully made film.
Yeah. I mean, just the scope of it.
Exactly,
and
the scope of it, which is in fact quite small.
No, but I mean,
huge.
The thing. First of all, huge cast.
Yeah.
And secondly, the things that they had to do in terms of stunts, in terms of the the actors. I mean, my hat off to them because
there were two stories actually that were we were sort of keeping track of, and one was the team of locals who were trying to pump the water out of the caves as the rain kept falling. They
because monsoons last so long, and the next one was imminent,
and the people in the town had to agree to sacrifice their rice paddies because that's where they were going to sluice the water off. It was just amazing, absolutely amazing. The ingenuity of man and women are amazing.
And it's one of those movies that truly restores your faith in humans.
And we need that a lot.
We do. So just watch it, even just to lift your spirits. It's harrowing, it's hard, but at least it does satisfy, and it's uplifting. And 13
Lives available on Amazon Prime.
Indeed. So we recommend
highly.
All right, now a favorite of mine, and Jane, I hope you're listening. This is a new docuseries called Gutsy Women. You may have already heard about it because there's a book by the same title. It premieres, it's premiering today on Apple TV Plus, September 9th. For you, it will be tomorrow because I'm posting this on Saturday. And if you know the book, you know that Hillary Rodham Clinton, my forever president, and her daughter Chelsea Clinton put together a book of women, some you've heard about, some you have not, who are inspiring, who have, in a way...
changed the world with their boldness and their brashness.
Some in bigger ways, some in smaller ways, all meaningful. And every episode of this will be dedicated to certain subjects. So, for example, the first episode, and I think they were smart to start with that, is dedicated to comedy. And the likes of Amy Schumer and Wanda Sykes and many, many other funny ladies talk about... they both talk with Hillary and Chelsea,
and
but they also
participate.
They participate. They are such good sports.
They really, really are. We've always known that Hillary is a great sport.
Yes, and I'm happy to see more of Chelsea's personality too.
And she's funny, and she's so smart.
Well, she is. Look at her parents.
Yeah.
How could she not be? But really, it's fun to see them not just kind of interviewing other people, but really put themselves in the middle of it and being part of it and learning through an experience as well.
Including Clown School.
Clown School, yes. Mimi's favorite.
Yeah, not really.
I was being very facetious. Yeah. Anyway, some of the other episodes will be about the environment, about politics, about social justice, and much, much more.
Is Jane Goodall one of them?
Jane Goodall is one of them.
That's the one I want to watch.
Next, yes. We've only watched the first one, but I'm eager to watch the rest of them.
I didn't love it, but
I did.
Liron did, and I enjoyed it, and I thought that it made some good points, and I love stand-up and comedians.
Well, that's just the first episode. The rest of them will be
well, of
many
course, they're all
things.
going to be different. I think it's an interesting approach for them to sort of immerse themselves in what they're talking about. And I worship Hillary.
Right, so to me, it's a combination of a few of my favorite things. A, Hillary Clinton. I mean, I just want to hang out with her no matter what she does, personally. And the opportunity to see her do various things and being more in a casual way.
Yes,
not...
Because she's funny, and she's
extremely funny.
Again, as we said, a fabulous sport. Mm-hmm. And
so you get to see so many sides of her that before that you probably didn't get to see, especially if you don't follow her as much as we do. But she is extremely funny and insightful and unique and smart.
She should have been president.
God.
She should
no kidding.
Still be president.
So A, Hillary Clinton. B, women who are trailblazers, talking about and discussing and showing what women can do and what women have done. I find it very inspiring and uplifting again, and it does restore some of my faith in humanity, which I always need more of.
Every day.
And interesting topics. I mean, I loved this one about comedy. The one about environment and the gorillas and all that will probably kill me. Chimpanzees. Right, gorillas was Diane Fossey.
Diane Fossey.
Mm-hmm. It will probably kill me, but and anyway, again, there's so many. The only person that I am not curious to see, but I'm curious to see why they included her is Kim Kardashian. So that will be interesting, or not. Hillary will make it interesting. Anyway, Gutsy Women.
And Chelsea, who's...
yes.
She's a worthy sidekick to her mom.
Absolutely, and I love the relationship between them. So Gutsy Women, Apple TV Plus, I love you so much.
Yes, we adore Apple TV Plus. They just keep on piling on the wonderful shows.
Yes, I just heard that there's going to be a documentary about Selena Gomez that I can't wait to see.
Wait to see
on Apple TV Plus. I think it's coming out next month, so we should be able to review it soon.
It's a great great streaming service. It doesn't cost very much, and it's a lot of bang for your buck.
And we're not getting paid to tell you this.
No, we're not.
We truly feel strongly about this.
We do get the press site, but
no, we do get that, but that's okay. We get that from everybody. We don't have to say
exactly.
This. We really truly believe in it. Anyway, Gutsy Women, check it out on Apple TV Plus, and spend some time with Hillary.
And Chelsea.
I'm sorry, I keep forgetting.
All right, I'm here just to keep including her.
Okay, now this is going to be a funny review because it's going to be really a review that doesn't include much of a review.
We can't really tell you anything.
We can't. I mean, I'm sure that we could, but we don't want to.
No. We want you to experience
I really just don't want to.
Have it to unfold before your very eyes. But we can say that it is a brilliant season.
Okay, so this is the new season of The Handmaid's Tale, Season 5, premiering on Hulu September 14th. We can tell you that we watched the first 8 episodes. I think, it took us like 3 days?
Yeah, well, then we had to wait, though.
We have to wait. We have to wait for the last 2. I don't really want to say much. I'm going to say that there are... Okay, a couple of things. First of all, when we heard yesterday that they announced the 6th and final season,
we were very happy.
We were very happy because as we were watching it, and not because we were like, it's time for this show to go.
No.
But because we could see the trajectory, we said the next season really should be the final season. I am a little bit worried about this sequel thingy, The Testaments. I was hoping for a good wrap-up. Hopefully it will be a good wrap-up.
Yes, I want to see the end of Gilead, and hearing about this other thing now, I'm not so sure.
Well, I don't know what... It does take place... It does take place years later, so I don't know how tightly related it will be to The Handmaid's Tale, but
I'm sick of these handmaids and this
the tale,
the whole Gilead phenomenon.
Well,
I'm ready for them to be off the face of the earth.
Right. So I'm gonna ignore the Testaments for a second because I don't know what it's about. I shouldn't draw conclusions, but I will say that as we were watching the 5th season, we thought, okay, this is ripe now for the final season. The other thing that we will say, and very minimally, is that very interesting tables are turned in this season.
So rich and
so many
rewarding.
People find themselves in very interesting positions. So many people...
Circumstances.
Yes, and... just, again, I'm not going to say anything.
No.
It's just that it seems like everybody all of a sudden is on some kind of a journey of something that is unlike their journey up until now.
To that point, exactly.
Or that is the same but different in certain ways. It's
fascinating. It's a very, very well thought out trajectory.
And that's the other reason we were saying that we hope the next season was the last season, because there are shows like Lost. They were truly lost in the plot.
Well, yes, they didn't know what they were doing practically from the beginning, although I loved it.
Right. That was unexpected. But there are shows, and shows like this have to be that kind of show, where you have to know when you start, where you're going, what is the end goal, and not to draw it out just because you can. I appreciate people who resist the temptation to just keep dragging it on like The Walking Dead.
I still have like 14 episodes to watch.
So we really, really, there was a point throughout the Handmaid's journey where it was so oppressive, it was almost unbearable.
Hard to watch, yes. It really was a difficult... it was difficult to watch.
Yes, we hanged on, whatever.
I say hung.
For the promise that it was going to lead to a different place, and it did. It kept delivering. Season 3, Season 4, Season 5 delivers.
It delivers.
So if you gave up at some point because you thought to yourself, why am I putting myself through it? And by the way, the first couple of episodes were put on our press site right after the Roe v. Wade, the monumental Supreme Court decision.
Such timing.
And we thought, we just can't do it to ourselves right now. We just can't.
Yeah, so we did. We waited.
We waited a long time before we did.
But once we started, we couldn't stop.
Yeah, it's so if that's a deterring factor for you, don't let it be. It's a very, very good season. And whenever we watch it, again, it's like a master class in scenic design,
it's so gorgeous to look
in
at.
cinematography, in directing. Elizabeth
Moss directed one of the most phenomenal episodes, especially in scope. She's really a good director. Have we talked about Shining Girls yet?
No, we will squeeze it in here at the end of it if we manage to squeeze it in. But it is. She also directed at least one episode in Shining Girls, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, she started directing kind of in the middle of the pandemic because they couldn't get enough directors. So it's like, all right, I'll do it. And I think she found
she is a wonderful director.
Yeah.
Yes.
So The Handmaid season 5. Watch it. All right, finally, we gave you a heads up for this last time, and now we have to go back and tell you that we binged it, and...
It was a league of their own. It was more than we ever could have imagined. I'll tell you, I was not that excited to watch it. And I love baseball.
Why weren't you?
I don't know.
And I don't even like baseball
I was
at all.
just not that excited for it.
Well, I loved the movie.
I loved the movie, and I thought, I've loved the movie.
Why not leave things alone?
Yeah, and I didn't really know too many people in this, although I love Abby Jacobson, who created it along with Will Graham.
Yeah, and Darcy Carden, and many of the people we didn't know, and they were each a gem.
They were all fabulous. Yeah. It's a cast full of discoveries. I mean, there are people you will know a few, but it's mostly people you don't know. And
they were each so brilliant, down to the last tiny role. Really.
And really, it's more about lesbianism and homosexuality than it is about baseball. And it also is about racism, although it was not as depressingly. It was also uplifting.
The show in general, the general feel of the show was uplifting. They treated everything, including homophobia and all those things. They were all there. It was heartbreaking, but at the same time, it was
warm.
It was optimistic.
Exactly.
And the loving, nurturing environment that they all had with one another managed to
make it familial and beautifully. It was the families again that you create.
The friendships, Chosen
families. And the baseball was fantastic. I mean, they went to baseball camp. They
were amazing.
They're better than any of the men I've seen. I mean, they were incredible, and these women had to do it.
Maybe now they'll finally have a league.
I don't know why we don't have a league. Women are such beautiful ball players. They really, really are. Their grace, it's so much fun to watch them.
Well, they were powerful,
spectacular.
Man. I don't even like baseball. I don't watch baseball.
I love baseball.
I thought it was beautiful what they did.
Yes, and it's a beautiful sport, and this made it more beautiful. And it's also about history, and it's funny.
Very funny.
It's really, really well written.
Very well written.
And I couldn't possibly recommend it more highly.
I think they did what a remake should do, which is take something, not just to redo it, because
it's not a remake.
No, not at all. It's an expansion.
An expansion because
it's everything we couldn't do then, we're gonna do now.
Right.
And they really did.
And they say that.
Yes,
they wanted to include things that couldn't be really included in the film because it was kind of restrictive. What was it, the 80s or the 90s? 90s.
Yeah. Early 90s, I think. But and because it was a movie and not a series, you can do much more in a series.
You can only do so much.
But also because there were a lot of things that were unspoken. I mean, look at I'm so sorry, I forget her name. The last remaining
the baseball player who came out in her 90s.
So 30 years ago when they made the movie, she wasn't even out in real life. No. So let alone on the movie.
Amazing.
I just have to say that I love the friendship between Max and Clarence. It was so beautiful to watch.
What a beautiful, dear pair of women. I just loved
hanging out with them.
Yes.
And also Carson and Greta, I can already tell, are going to be a favorite for the best couple awards on the Lady Parts TV
Clarence and Max, though.
But they're not a romantic couple. This is going to be for best couple.
Oh, okay.
So,
that's true.
I really hope there's going to be a second season.
I'm sure there'll be. I think it was a huge. First of all, it was critically acclaimed. I think it's going to be a huge hit. I can't imagine that there won't be a season 2.
I have to say, it makes me so happy to see that a show like this can be made where really 90% of the stuff is all lesbian.
Well, I'd say 80% is lesbian and 20% is race relations.
Yeah.
And
but even that, I mean, even the race relations, it's
yes, exactly,
so much of it is still about lesbians.
It's true.
And just not apologizing, not trying to kind of sneak it in through the back door.
Sneaking, no,
out and proud.
Yes, no hinting.
Yeah, it was just all out there.
No Rizzolian eyes.
I loved Rosie O'Donnell in her cameo. I thought it was beautiful.
Was wonderful as she always is.
Yes.
Yep.
It was a fabulous experience of television, and I can't wait for the next season. I'm just so happy for our community and for our world that we can have this.
Yes, and I hope that we continue to be this way.
Yeah.
Go forward. Dale Dickey, by the way, was wonderful.
Yes.
I've always loved Dale Dickey. She only doesn't usually play big parts, and she had a very significant role in this, and I loved her.
Yes.
It's a great show. Even if you hate sports,
which I do pretty much,
well,
except for tennis,
you will enjoy this.
Yes, absolutely. Finally, we are over our time, so we're just going to very, very briefly tell you about a show on Apple TV Plus, again, that we should have told you about a long time ago, but we took a little while to watch it. It's called Shining Girls, and it's starring Elizabeth Moss.
Yes.
Also in a small role, not tiny, but small role. I forget her name, who plays Janine on The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, right. I forgot her name, too. That's terrible.
Yes. We're going to look it up really quickly.
Small but important role.
Madeline Brewer.
Madeline Brewer, who plays a very interesting role, and just kind of pivotal, I think.
Also Amy Brenneman.
Right. How could we have forgotten Amy Brenneman?
I didn't forget.
My God.
And it's a very, very interesting concept. One that I don't usually...
It's kind of sci-fi. It is sci-fi,
yes.
really, but you're not sure what you're watching or what really is happening. It does, to some degree, resolve itself.
I don't usually like things that are not rooted enough in reality.
And I like time trippy.
But it was very interesting, and it was interesting enough that I could buy into the premise once it even became evident. We didn't even know for a long time in the beginning what we were dealing with.
Yes.
Elizabeth Moss is, as usual, wonderful.
She's a wonderful actress.
And it was very interesting.
It was. I loved it.
Yeah.
But it is odd, and it is kind of creepy, and it's about a serial killer.
Yes,
so
it is. We should say that.
It's dark.
Yeah, it is dark.
Hawk?
Yeah, it is a hawk.
Oh God.
So that's Shining Girls on Apple TV Plus, and I do want to go back really quickly to The Handmaid's Tale and say that Ann Dowd blows my mind.
Oh my God.
She just blows my mind. I just have to say that.
Well,
okay, I'll say that. Thank you for joining us for another podcast. We'll talk to you again next week.
Have a great week.
And be safe.
And happy, and be safe and well.
Bye.
Bye.